Inside a jet engine, the temperature reaches 1,700 degrees Celsius. That is hotter than the melting point of the metal the engine is made of. By all laws of physics, the engine should melt itself into a puddle of slag within seconds. But it doesn't, because of a secret hidden inside the blades. Welcome to Dark Whisper. Today, we uncover the impossible engineering of the jet engine. This is why jet engines are so hard to make. It's not just about power. It's about surviving hell. At the heart of every turbine is a disc spinning at 10,000 RPM. Attached to it are the turbine blades. They face the full force of the combustion. To survive this heat, engineers don't just use strong metal. They grow it. Modern turbine blades are grown from a single crystal of metal. No grain boundaries. No weak points. Just one continuous piece of nickel alloy. If there were even a microscopic crack, the blade would shatter. And if a blade shatters at Mach speed, it acts like a bomb inside the engine casing. The process to create these crystals takes days. The metal is melted in a vacuum, then cooled directionally, atom by atom, until the entire blade is one single grain. It is the pinnacle of metallurgy. A single failure in the cooling process ruins the whole batch. The reject rate is incredibly high. You are looking at millions of dollars of scrap metal just to get one perfect blade. And without this impossible technology, modern aviation would be impossible. We would still be flying slow, propeller-driven planes, crossing oceans in days instead of hours. The jet engine is the only reason the modern world exists. But surviving the heat isn't enough. The blades have to breathe. Drilled into every single blade are hundreds of tiny cooling holes, smaller than a pinprick. Air from the compressor is routed through the inside of the blade and blown out these holes. This creates a protective film of cool air around the blade, shielding it from the 1,700 degree fire. It's like wrapping a candle in a sheet of ice. The physics shouldn't work. The air pressure has to be perfectly balanced. If the pressure is too low, the hot gas gets sucked into the cooling holes and melts the blade from the inside out. Drilling these holes is a nightmare. You can't use a drill bit. It would break the crystal structure. Engineers use lasers and electrochemical machining to drill thousands of holes at precise angles. If one hole is blocked, that blade burns through in seconds. And that's just the hot section. What about the fan? The giant blades at the front? Those blades spin so fast the tips move at supersonic speeds. They have to be light enough to not shake the engine apart, but strong enough to swallow a bird without shattering. Titanium is too heavy. Steel is too brittle. So they use carbon fiber composites, woven together layer by layer, stronger than steel and lighter than aluminum. One fan blade can withstand the impact of a frozen chicken at 500 miles per hour. This is called the chicken gun test, and it is mandatory. If the engine cannot survive a bird strike, it is not allowed to fly. The precision required here is microscopic. The gap between the fan blade and the casing is less than the width of a piece of paper. If they touch, the engine destroys itself. If the gap is too big, the engine loses power. Making these parts is only half the battle. Assembling them is where the real magic happens. A modern high-bypass turbofan has over 25,000 individual parts. Every single one must fit with the tolerance of a human hair. If the gap between the blade tip and the casing is too big, efficiency drops. Fuel is wasted. If it's too small, the blade scrapes the casing, sparks fly, and the engine seizes. Engineers use a special abradable coating on the casing. The first time the engine runs, the blades carve their own perfect path into the lining. It's a self-fitting machine. It learns its own shape. And the cost? A single engine for a Boeing 777 can cost $30 million. More than a luxury mansion, more than a fighter jet. Why? Because the R&D takes decades. The materials are exotic. The precision is microscopic. Only 3 companies in the world can make engines of this caliber: General Electric, Rolls-Royce, and Pratt & Whitney. If they stop making them, global travel stops. The world economy halts. Every product you buy, every person you meet, every vacation you take depends on these 3 companies getting the physics right. So the next time you hear that roar at the airport, remember, you aren't just hearing noise. You are hearing the sound of 25,000 parts, working in perfect harmony, surviving temperatures that melt steel, spinning at speeds that blur reality. It is the hardest machine humanity has ever built, and it's the only reason you can cross an ocean in 7 hours. At Dark Whisper, we look at the machines that move the world. If you want to know the secrets behind the technology you use every day, subscribe. Because the world is more complex than you think. I'm Lucas, and I'll see you in the next investigation.